Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Secretary, welcome back to the committee. Mr. Secretary, as you know, Mr. Ryan, the ranking Republican member, has introduced his roadmap reform. This is the second time that he's introduced it. It's much improved over the first version from 2008. I'm just interested to know what you like about the plan, what you dislike about the plan, what you'd suggest that we change in the plan as we move forward, as we look for a credible solution to our nation's growing fiscal problems.
What I like about it is it's a plan. It doesn't ignore the problems. It's straightforward about them, and it meets a basic test of government, which is it proposes specific ways of bringing our fiscal house in order. I do not agree with much of the specific proposals he made, but I give him a lot of credit for having the courage to put out a lot of stuff that's going to be very controversial, not just among Democrats, but within his own party. And you know, we're going to have a difficult debate on these kind of things, but one of the virtues of this commission that the President has established is it brings Democrats and Republicans together, asks them to step back from politics, no preconditions, and to figure out where we can build consensus on ways to bring our resources and commitments more into balance. But a lot of credit to him for proposing.
So I assume you do not like, if I'm hearing you correctly, you don't like the aspects of the changes that we make to Social Security?
Well, I would personally would not propose introducing private accounts. I would not propose privatizing Social Security. I don't think that's necessary to restore solvency to Social Security. Mm-hmm. He's got a lot of ideas on what to do about Medicare and Medicaid, which I think would leave millions of Americans with inadequate coverage. But again, a lot of credit to him for having a plan and proposing specific changes. And I think he's made meet the basic test, which is to say, people who share in responsibility for creating this mess, and that responsibility is shared by many people, are going to be able to share in the privilege of proposing ways to dig our way out of that mess.
But you know, if we continue, first of all, I want to make sure for the record that no one's discussing privatizing Social Security, and in fact, we're just trying to offer similar healthcare proposals or healthcare plans and Social Security plans and retirement security plans that members of Congress have and other federal employees have, which tends to work pretty well for federal employees, and I think it would be appropriate to expand those to all Americans. That's, you know, really at the basis of what Mr. Ryan's proposal does. And I would argue that, you know, one of the problems we have with Medicaid and Medicare, despite, I mean, we can argue over the numbers, but they're tens of trillions of dollars in the hole, so they're essentially bankrupt themselves. And I would argue that by doing nothing for these programs means that they will not exist.
I completely agree with that. And, you know, we do not have the luxury of deciding that because it's politically difficult to figure out how to confront these things, we're not going to do anything about it. We don't have that luxury. And the world's not going to wait for us. So, again, a lot of credit to him for having a plan and proposing things that help bring us, you know, restore gravity to our fiscal position. I disagree with a lot of the suggestions he made, but I give him a lot of credit for having ideas.